I'll be the one asking questions. So tell me, what's the future of your identity online?
My identity online.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of friends of mine who are slowly inspiring me to build more of a personality online,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you're talking about.
Okay.
And with all the different character traits that a person can have,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily the type of person I always thought, or do I think, I don't know, uh, who is really out there. But I mean, it. Why not? Like, I'm. I might have some good things to talk about. Like,
Like, would
yeah,
you
this
have
is a
it as
special one. This is a special
AI? Like,
question.
would you have it as a AI kind of like mimicking you and doing something for
Oh
you?
my! Why would I
How,
ever want that?
I don't know.
Like,
How do you see your identity
my
develop in the
identity,
digital world?
identity, developing digital world.
Because we'll have our own little worlds basically being built
Yeah,
by the collection of data that we put out there.
yeah. I mean, I'm still like searching for like my own version of my own truth.
Mm-hmm.
So if
In
just a
physical
thought,
life, in physical.
or like how my perspective at least, like to
Mm-hmm.
get one step closer at a time. And if I,
Mm-hmm.
it's just every time if I were to like share and think publicly and this like immortalize online, I don't enjoy that thought. It's
Mm-hmm.
not as fluid as I would like,
It's not
because
as fluid, yeah.
uh, you
Mm-hmm.
that's just the nature of things. It's almost cliche, but you could be posting something, and who knows if this is some kind of, if it's really like up to date with your identity.
Yeah, and your
Now
thought process
it's
and
it's just the
mm-hmm.
timeline. It's just so chronological. Like this whole internet thing. It's so
Linear.
linear. It's such a linear timeline, and why would
Yeah.
your identity should be confined by some kind of linear timeline?
Right. Yeah, like wherever I post things online, I don't think about like, oh yeah, this is posted at this time and it matters at this time. I am timelessly putting it out there just for it to be stored in this digital space, and I always feel that I will come back to it, or somebody will meet that content, and they would feel that it's a timeless piece. I really want
Yeah, yeah.
to create something that is of deep value for a long term, and for no need to look at like how it's perceived over different periods of time. But at the same time, we were just going over your work from
It does have
several
its,
years ago,
yeah,
right?
like its utilities.
So we're going over your work, and what I'm seeing is work of its own. Like, I see this huge deep talent, that is showing up, and and I don't care when you did it. I really don't need. I mean, it's cool to know,
Surreal.
but
Yeah.
it's just so timeless. Yeah, and I think that's what your design is. Like, when I saw your New Life designs, I thought like, wow, this is timeless. This feels like it's not repeatable. Like, it's gonna stay there forever. Like, in history, as long as we store it in digital spaces.
Well, it's a
Maybe
nice
we
thing to
can
say.
print it out as well. You can still see
Yeah.
like the printouts of your designs.
Print out screens. Why not?
Yeah. Yes. So, I think that's what your talent is to create something that is not only like relevant now, but it's also relevant in the future somehow. Something that feels quite
I mean,
timeless.
hopefully, like that should be a part of the definition of good design.
Yeah.
You take into account also like the sustainability of the design itself,
Sustainability of a design.
like how long term, you know, you create. What am I talking about? Yeah,
Like something that
yeah.
you look at and you can't even tell which time it is from. I mean, you can still say the period, but you can't say, okay, this is the month, or this is influenced by
Yeah.
this. Like, you are creating something that is, again,
Function, like all
channeled
the,
out from the spirit and not referencing much of existing, culture.
yeah, the whole design. Just in terms of like the frame of UX design, uh, some people would say that they've cracked the code of like how it's supposed to be, because people would always refer to what they already know and
Already know,
all
yeah.
these standards and kind of
Yeah.
things. But is there really a lot of room to innovate within this
Mm-hmm.
particular space? I don't know. It's like
True.
some kind of map which has already been explored until the very end, and now you have each part of the map already known to you. Like, is there, what is like the next frontier with
I
all
think
of
the
this?
next frontier we're gonna see is no screens. It will be more projections and some kind of holograms. And so it will be more immersive. We can invite someone into the space, into this conversation
Yeah.
immediately.
Immediately, like that's a really big keyword for me, because if we think about the progression of like all this technology, where it's really getting at effectively is uh, that we all decrease the latency in which information is conveyed.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, I mean, I'm not that, I'm not a boomer. I don't know, but back then apparently machines were like taking ages for an email to be sent, or like some kind of pigeon to transport some kind of letter. It
Yeah.
would take a certain amount of time, and as technology is like getting better and better, you have like less and less of this wait time. You almost have like instant messaging in quotation marks.
And you expect people to reply this instantly also.
Yeah.
And have this like instant feedback.
Like in interpersonal terms, but also like just on personal, like researching you and the machine
Yeah.
itself. You would how long would it take for you to like find out this particular fun fact which you're looking for?
Yeah, yeah.
How much time would it take for you to acquire this knowledge? And yeah, it's just all heading towards this direction where this latency is being decreased.
Mm-hmm. So we don't need to type anything. We will be more like, I think it will be more with voice,
In whichever form, like
you'll be
headed.
faster kind of getting the data out of the cloud and out of this information field. Yes. I'm very excited about these new ways of interactivity with the amount of data that we're producing, and new ways of showing that information. I really wish that our screens were bigger, that projections.
Yeah, but for example, right now, seeing in real life,
Yeah.
I realized that isn't in many ways technology a step backwards, because there's like so much, all these these scientists and like sociologists want to call it, but these micro interactions, these micro gestures and all these things, the slightest twitch in the eye or whatever you want to call
like
it,
move
there's
of a
so
body.
much information conveyed.
Yeah.
Like again, in terms of interpersonal like communication, this is something which is definitely a step back. I don't want to give a pitch on the metaverse now, like Mark Zuckerberg would do it, but yeah, it's definitely worth considering. Like, what is speed everything?